Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's market profile bulletin for Nifty and potential option paths. Myself Dean, you can get in touch with me on Twitter or visit my website getthattradingis.in. Uh, Softwares used for today's presentation are Bell Market Profile and Bell Order Flow. For more details of the softwares, please visit belltpo.com. Let me go through the disclaimer. Information shared here is not a trading recommendation and we are not a business of providing any. All information shared here is strictly for educational purposes only. Please use your discretion while acting on the information shared here. We will not be responsible for any resulting profits or losses. Please consult your registered financial advisor before you make any trading and investment decision. So let's go to today's market analysis. So welcome to 6th March market profile bulletin for Nifty. Market profile chart for Nifty showed following things today. Let me just open it. Yes. So this was today's development. Yesterday we had marked a few references. This one here and this one here and this. These were all HVNs from yesterday, and yesterday we had a nice tight balance going on in the early half of the day. Then we tried to break down here, but immediately went back into the balance. So that was a potential failed option yesterday, and it turned out to be a real failed option because we got a nice follow through to that initial failed option. What happened then was, we closed at the extreme, and that action prompted for a continuation today. Today we had a nice opening just outside the range of yesterday here. Then we went back inside the range but found nothing and immediately left the range of yesterday, and that gave to a nice rally in the first period of the day itself. But the problem with that it was pretty wide, and such kind of stretched out moves early on in the day are usually emotional in nature. So that rise being emotional could not generate any subsequent follow through. So that was an indication that the bulls were matched after the early buying spurt. We'll look at to the order flow chart for more details here. Then the close for today, is pretty close to the highs. So any selling happening throughout this day is now put under pressure. So the sellers are going home anxious, and we know what happens when the sellers go home anxious. What happened to yesterday's profile? Sellers going home anxious. We got a nice open case dive tomorrow. So that is what we are expecting for tomorrow. So let's see what happens. 2 of 3 references from yesterday were repaired, and yesterday's potential option path suggested that this kind of activity might develop, and it happened today. And we also left a poor high. So after this initial P formation and this poor high, we got a break, which was an inventory adjustment break, because the market got too long here. The P shape as well as this poor high suggested that. And but what happens that bulls come in, buyers came in after this inventory break and closed the market back up. Now this action suggested that when that inventory adjustment break happened, the early morning buyers which started buying yesterday, also the buyers from this yesterday's spike, they defended that break and used that break to accumulate their longs and help to close a bit higher. Now that particular action tells us that we might go higher tomorrow and repair at least this reference, which is the HVN from yesterday, and we might go even higher and repair this particular anomaly. So that is the action which is possible for tomorrow. So if I have to draw the potential option paths, what might happen when we might go higher, repair this anomaly, we have a nice gradient here, which suggests that the sellers have rejected this particular level. So we might go here and immediately get rejected back and continue to repair lower references. Another thing that might happen is we might go and start accepting in this range, and once that happens, we are immediately alerted to the fact that we might see higher levels tomorrow. So these are the two hypos I am looking at for tomorrow, the potential option paths as we call it in Nifty. So coming back to the presentation. What was there on order flow chart? So let me just maximize it. First of all, this opening bar, it was a pretty wide range bar, and then we had, you know, deep green prints happening in this box, if you can see. And what happens is, after forming these deep green prints, we close off the highs. So this activity suggested that these higher prices were being used by passive sellers to distribute their holdings. Now, when this kind of activity happens, what we are always interested in is a nice test of this range on low volume, and then, you know, look for a potential shorting opportunity. So when the prices came back to this exact level in this bar here, we again see the same kind of activity, you know, deep green prints right at the top and a close of the highs. As well as, if you look at the volume, if you compare this volume with this one, you can immediately see the color difference. And this bell order flow software is so nice. You can, it's very visual. Immediately you can see the difference in color, and it suggests that the volume here is pretty low as compared to this volume. So that immediately alerted us to the fact that this was actually a low volume test and could have been used, you know, to create a short. If you go into shorter term order flow charts for 3 minutes, you will clearly see a nice negative divergence developing. So this was an opportunity to short. And what happened afterwards? Let's go back to the post. So later in the day, there was a sharp spike down. And what happened in that sharp spike down? Let us see on the chart. So this was that sharp spike down. So again, the same thing. You can observe deep red prints here, exact obverse activity of what happened here. Here there were deep green prints, but on this chart, you can see the price spiked down. There was deep red prints, and there was no follow through on the next bar. On the next, it actually closed higher, but then we went sideways for a while. And look at these two bars closing lower, and look at the volumes on these two bars. In this particular green box, you can see that the volumes were very low compared to when it came down in this bar. So, you know, again, this was a kind of a absorption kind of a thing going on, and then we came down in these two bars to test it on low volumes, and again that was a nice opportunity to go long, and the prices have closed quite far off from this level. So a scalp was definitely on, and we might as well, you know, see some follow through going into tomorrow's trend. So that is all I have to share for Nifty. Let's go back and see how Bank Nifty fared today. Again, the same thing. Let's just go on the chart. Yesterday, you can see it was a nice squat balance, nice narrow tight balance shape, bell curve type of profile. Prior to that, there was this sharp down move, a spike kind of a move, and post the spike you get this kind of a balancing move, and we closed here near the highs. So what happens? Any selling that was going on in this particular zone was put under pressure right into the close, and that, you know, made them anxious going into the close, and that anxiety was capitalized by smart money by opening outside the range, testing inside the range, finding nothing, and a nice follow through high. What happened in this follow through was we repaired this reference, but these two references are still pending. So two references remain. What happens is we again, similar to Nifty, we get this P shape. A nice open test drive higher, but a P shape leading to an inventory adjustment break. But if you look at this particular inventory adjustment break, you also see a nice B shape forming, a micro B profile kind of a thing, suggesting that once this inventory adjustment break happened, buyers came in and accumulated their positions again. That essentially defended this particular open test drive in the morning and again closed higher from this level. The close is right at the POC, if you can see here, and that makes the auction a balanced one. The auction is balanced going into the close. So tomorrow is open for move in either direction. We cannot be sure whether we'll have an up move or down move. But what we can be sure of is if we open higher, start finding acceptance above yesterday's high, we might move higher and repair these higher references. Or we might immediately open higher, repair these higher references, and then find some rejection. Finding acceptance above this will lead to higher prices, obviously, and lower, I don't know, we have a clearly higher placed volume, but the volume is not good, neither on Bank Nifty nor Nifty. So I don't know whether this up move is really a strong up move or not. So, but this does not mean it will not continue. Even in Nifty, I expect higher prices. I expect the prices to repair these anomalies, auction to repair these anomalies. And once these are repaired, the sellers might push the auction down again. So that is what I expect for Bank Nifty. So I think that is all for today. Please go through the video and find out how you can use them in your trading for tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be available tomorrow. Today, unfortunately, I could not reach office at all. So we could not have some discussion today, but hopefully we'll have them tomorrow, and let's have a great days of trading tomorrow. So thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.